This is a animatronic Halloween black cat. It's made by Avon, and it was produced in the year 2007. Now, I got this at a thrift store back in December of 2022, and that is the same thrift store that I've gotten some of my Road Rippers from. It's the only thrift store I ever go to. So yeah. Now, when I first got this thing, I picked it up off the shelf, and there's a hair that just fell right there. This thing was only $3, which is a pretty decent price for it. Um, Considering the condition I bought it, considering the condition it was in when I bought it, it was terrible. I picked it up and I could hear like plastic pieces rattling around inside of it, and it just felt real flimsy and stuff. Like, it was broken, obviously, very broken. Um, and the battery compartment and stuff had like cracks in it, pieces broken off. The switch was left on. Um, and I was actually staying with my grandparents at this time. So, but I was with my grandpa when we went to the thrift store and stuff like that. So I was there and I got this. I got a few other items, but I don't have them anymore. Um, but I have this one because I wanted to, keep this one and stuff. So yeah. Anyway, it was in really bad shape. So the battery compartment, like the switch was left on. It had batteries in it, Energizer batteries that weren't expired yet, but they were obviously dead. Um, but when I brought it to their house when we got home, and I put new batteries in it, pushed the button, and it did nothing. Flipped the switch a couple times, still did nothing. So I had to take it apart, and a wire for the button was off of the circuit board. So, yeah, I wasn't able to solder it at that time because I didn't have a soldering iron at my grandparents' house, and now I do, as well as a hot glue gun. So, you know, makes it easier to work on things. So I don't have to like bring things over there or bring things over here, vice versa. I can just fix them, make it more convenient. And so anyway, when I brought this thing to my house to here, like the next day or so, um, I repaired this. I was going to repair this. I took it apart, and the mechanism that like moves the tail, it had a like a gearbox, and it sits like on top of the battery compartment. That gearbox has 4 screws, like 2 on like each side. They were all snapped off, like the screw posts. So the thing was just rattling around inside of there, and the board is actually in there, and I don't know how the circuit board survived because the mechanism that like moves the head, there's a piece that connects that mechanism to the tail mechanism to kind of keep it together, like stabilize it. Well, that was snapped in half, and there was literally like a hole. It looked like someone took it and just snapped it because there was a hole in the like the, I guess you could call it the housing, the two halves that go together, that enclose the tail mechanism and the battery compartment, as well as the speaker and the circuit board. Well, the circuit board, you could actually see it through the hole, and I'm really glad that the circuit board didn't get damaged, because this is a really neat item. And so, yeah, I was doing that. A wire came off the speaker, fixed that. This pumpkin down here, it was missing like one of these black things for this eye, so I custom made one. The LED for the eye was actually not lighting up because the wire was pulled out of it for some stupid reason. And yeah, it was in really bad shape. There's something else that was wrong with it too, I think. I can't seem to remember because this thing just had a lot of issues. It was in bad shape. But I did replace the battery compartment. Like, this is supposed to be black, but I put a white one on there. And for some reason, the cover wouldn't fit on there, so I had to, like, melt it. And yeah, it was a really fun process to do that because you have to like tuck this fabric in before you put this piece on there, and it sucked because it did not want to stay in place. I also replaced the speaker. Its original one worked fine, but I used the speaker in I think one of my Road Rippers vehicles. But when I was taking the speaker out to put it back in this, the like the little lead, the thing that you solder the wires to on the speaker just came out right off, and I'm like, that's great. So, but I finally got a good speaker for this, and it's one of the small ones too. But it has pretty good sound quality. I glued the hat down, this hat down, because it wasn't glued. Not supposed to be really, but it's so the ears can stick out better. And I put stuffing in the hat because it didn't have any. Again, not supposed to, but it looks better. I'm surprised this thing, it still had the cape on it because of the condition this was in. This was really loose. Like, I could have just pulled this thing off. It was just barely on there. But I tied it. So, yeah, this is really cool, though. I mean, I think it is because I collect these things. Or I did collect these things at one point. Yeah, the tag's kind of dirty. I'm trying to make it to where you can read this. It says Avon Imports, yeah, Avon 2007 right there. Oh, I also replaced the button too. Cause I don't either the original one wasn't working or it was working and I cut the wire because I thought it was the button when it turned out the wire was off. I think that's what it was. I think that the wire was off the circuit board and I didn't know that and I just assumed the button was bad, so I cut it, like the wires, really short to the point where you can't really use the button anymore. And I did the wire trick. But yeah. So yeah, I put a new LED in the pumpkin. So here's how it works. Got a black magic woman. Got a black magic woman. I've got a black magic woman. Got me so blind I can't see. That she's a black magic woman. She's trying to make the devil out of me. Don't turn your back on me, baby. Don't turn your back on me, baby. Yeah, don't turn your back on me, baby. Start messing around with your trick. Don't turn your back on me, baby. You just might pick up my magic stick. And I will be doing a video of this with low batteries, because it sounds pretty cool with low batteries. But, yeah, that's the end of the video.